Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. Thank you for doing that right off the bat.
Isn't that crazy?
I've been reusing the one intro that I recorded myself, but I do say, welcome to One Topic, now known as Potato Sandwich.
Welcome to One Topic, now known as Potato Sandwich.
I also changed the title of the show, so on the podcatchers.
I saw that, yeah. On all your podcatchers.
My plants are doing well.
Yeah, I saw that you're doing some seedlings.
Oh, I've got starter trays galore. I've got sunflowers.
Oh, you get...
Oops. Oh, it stopped. I should mute my phone before we start recording.
That was I want to hear the rest of it now.
What, the rest of the song?
Yeah.
The Doogie Howser song. Is there a way for me to... My computer is hooked up to this, but whatever. I'm just going to play it on my phone.
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah. Before we started recording, I was telling you that, well, you were singing the Doogie Howser song, humming it, doing it. And I said that you gave it too many dynamics.
Uh-huh.
Made it too complex because the actual theme itself is garbage, like a 5-year-old playing a keyboard.
A Casio.
I don't really like
ads. Oh my God. I'm never going to pay. I'm not paying Google. Screw Google.
Oh, it's Google and not like
Well, it's YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
So you'd pay
I love
Google
my
if you didn't
YouTube.
want the ads. And I have to watch this. The idiot.
Wait, don't you pay for YouPoo?
YouPoo.
Don't you pay for YouTube Premium? Like, don't you have like not the premium, the other one, the
TV.
the fancy one? Yeah, the TV.
But they don't give you premium for the. Do they?
What?
I don't know if they do.
That should be for everything, you know?
Nah, they want to milk as much money as they can out of everyone. You think YouTube
That's
is going to
awful.
say, hey, you pay for our TV, we'll give you premium for free? No way.
Dang, that's crazy.
Google needs that money. They need all
Guess
the
so.
money they can get. Okay, now that the ad with Pete Davidson's over. And then, do you ever laugh at that guy? Has he ever done anything that makes you
Yeah,
laugh?
that yay, skirt. You never loved me, mommy.
All right. So there's something.
I needed you. Oh. Yeah, it is like somebody that just learned how to play.
Yeah, it's like a 6-year-old. Like there could be more eighth notes. Could be a little more complex. It's just nothing. There's a bass line.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
Here we go.
Okay. Ooh. Wow.
And such a long intro, too. Now you can't even do the long intro because everyone skips it.
Oh. Bum, bum.
So there you go.
Wow.
If you layered it, you had some instrumentation, it could be a pretty good song, but I'm surprised. That feels like the demo that somebody pitched to the network. Here's what I'm thinking for the theme song. I'm just kind of working on it. And then somebody says, some exec says, that's it. I love it.
That's
Don't
it. Take
change a
it.
thing.
We'll take it. But sir, it's not finished. I said take it.
What more do you want? There's a bass line in there.
It really sounds like a child was learning how to play something.
Exactly. And now
really does.
it is my text message alert, though I do keep my phone on silent for the most part. With no badges.
Do you find that you include it, that you keep it on not silent just to hear the text?
No, I keep it on silent. I mean, unless I'm expecting someone to text me.
Yeah.
Like earlier today when you said, let's record it 2. Well, I can't do 2. Let's do 3. I'm not shaming you. This is nothing.
No,
I'm
I
just
know.
telling the story.
Annoying. I just had
And
to.
I said, well, if you get back earlier than 3, we can start earlier. So I left the text message on, the text message alert.
Yeah.
So I had to hear Doogie.
Diggy.
Anyway, yeah, my plants. I go check them several times a day, and I just stare at them as if I'm going to see some kind of growth in front of my eyes.
Yeah, it takes a while sometimes. What have you planted?
I planted sunflowers.
Oh,
I planted magnolias. I planted China aster.
How big of a amount of space do you have?
Well, that's the thing. We have this little lofted area, and there's one small window up there. So I put them in the windowsill, but then I bought grow lights.
Wow, okay.
I leave them up there. I planted succulents, the smallest seeds ever. It's absolutely insane, these seeds. Like they were sent in a clear plastic bag. And I was like, is there anything in there? What the fuck is this? And then a few of them started sprouting, and they've got the smallest leaves ever. Iron Cross clovers.
Wow, fancy.
I'm trying to regrow my grandmother's purple clovers.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, I've been able to bring them to life every season, but then they do go dormant sometimes. And I guess they probably weren't getting enough light before because I didn't have the grow light and I just put them in a window and they probably didn't have enough light, but they went dormant and didn't come back for months and I couldn't get them to come back. But now they've started sprouting a bit slowly. It's like they're testing the waters again.
Does that mean that they were dormant?
I think they were dormant. They just probably weren't getting enough light no matter where I was putting them because once I put them under the grow light, then it replanted them, new soil, grow light.
Because I have an orchid that I got maybe like a year and a half ago, and the flowers are long gone, but the leaves are still there, and like the stem that it was growing on is gone. But it grew one leaf, and then it just chilled out all winter, and now it's growing. Another little leaf is poking out.
Where do you keep that?
Just around in the house. I don't worry about it. I give it just a little bit of water.
I guess you get a lot of light. What direction does that wall of windows face?
Which way does the sun set?
West.
West. Faces west. Well, it's really cool because in the summer, the sun goes... So my windows are facing out into the parking lot, like just right out into where everybody parks, just a straight line down. Yeah, and the sun in the summer goes straight down that line. And then in the winter... it goes over to the left and doesn't shine as bright. So like I don't have to close my curtains in the afternoons and in the wintertime. But in the summer, I need to close those because it gets so hot because there's so much sun coming in. It's really cool.
Well, here we are. Summer coming.
Yep, it's here.
June. Well, what? The solstice will be in about 20 days. And then that'll be the longest day of the year. And then we'll start getting shorter days again. Yes. Even though July and August are miserable, I always get really excited when I know the days are getting shorter again. Right now, it's depressing. The days are getting longer still.
It's kind of fun, though. This is like a fun time because there's like vacations and summer and pool and...
You can take winter vacations. Winter vacations are the best.
Yeah.
Especially when you go to places that don't have fucking air conditioning like Germany, apparently.
Uh-oh.
We're booking all these hotels for this trip that's coming up, going to Germany. And, I mean, when you go to Berlin, a lot of the hotels do have air conditioning, but it's not like the air conditioning we know anyway. It's very
it's
light.
It's that unit that's like up in the ceiling.
It doesn't do much.
Yeah.
You know, Europe in general, Finland, I guess it's not getting too hot there. So the hotel I stayed in last August, it had air conditioning, but it doesn't get too cold and it doesn't blow very hard.
Right.
So it's like, this is on, I guess. It's technically conditioning the room.
Yeah.
But Germany, like you look at a lot of these hotels and you're like, this is nice. This is a good deal. And then you look into it, it's like no air conditioning. What the fuck? I know that the climates were different and I was looking into it and there's the eco-conscious people. We don't want to waste so much electricity. And then there's the people who just haven't had it, so they're not used to it.
Yeah, and they get really cold when they're in air conditioning.
Yeah, they say they hate it. It's so drafty.
Yeah,
why would I want it so cold? It's like, why wouldn't you want it so cold?
Yeah.
You know how amazing it is to sleep when it's cold?
Oh, the best.
You have to sleep on top of the covers because it's hot. Also,
yeah,
just
it's the worst.
some sort of circulation. I guess you could get a fan, but stagnant air. Stagnant air and overhead lighting. Sounds like that would be my idea of a prison cell.
Would that be hell?
Yeah, you want to torture me? Stagnant air, overhead lighting. What else could you add? Only fish for dinner.
You can go outside, but you can only go barefoot, and the sidewalks aren't smooth and they hurt your feet.
That's to you that would be torture.
Yeah, I'd hate that.
Then your feet would get calloused and they become very thick and cool.
Oh yeah. Then I guess it would be after that. It would have to get progressively worse. So then the soles of your feet get thicker and thicker.
Yeah, I don't know why I referred to it as cool, because a person with really calloused, cracked feet, that's not something I think is cool.
Ooh, that crack in your heel. Oh, it gives me the creeps. When people, and this is something I don't understand, especially men who do not take care of their feet, and then they wear flip-flops around. I don't want to see your disgusting feet.
I wear flip-flops in the winter.
This guy's so crazy. He wears shorts in the wintertime.
That's my thing. Michael Franti, I think, was a dude who never wore shoes.
Mm-hmm.
He had very disgusting feet. You know who I'm talking about? You know this guy?
Say his name again.
Michael Franti.
No,
I wouldn't have known who he was if he didn't come into the radio station back when I was working here in New York. He came in one day, he performed, but he doesn't wear shoes. So that's really why he stuck in my brain. It's like, who the fuck? What? You don't wear shoes? So he's he's walking around New York with no shoes. His feet are absolutely disgusting.
Oh no! Why does he do that?
They do kind of look like natural moccasins, because they're so calloused and swollen and dirty.
Yeah. Yikes.
I know it's this thing. Why? What drives a person to do that? Whatever the original idea is, it's probably one of two things. I think this is cool and different, so I'm going to do it. Or shoes come from sweatshops, and I don't want children suffering. But
then make your own shoe, I guess, right?
Yeah, do something.
I don't think the answer is for then you to walk around without shoes on.
Well, he committed to it. Why does
he talk about it, or is he asked about it?
Nobody asked him at the radio station, but they weren't the kind of people who would ask those questions. He probably gets asked it all the time, so maybe I wouldn't have asked it either. I would have berated him. I said, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Look, here's this guy. This is from 2014. So in 2014, an article about how he hasn't worn shoes for 14 years. Oh. So if he has continued to not wear shoes, add on another 11 years.
Wowee.
But this is why Michael Franti hasn't worn shoes. I'll read this whole thing. Let's see. We'll sum it up. This is what AI is good for. Sum this up for me, so I don't have to read the whole article about this.
That was funny how Eric was talking on the show the other day, where he was like, yeah, I use AI to I read all the articles. But what I do is I put the article in ChatGPT and ask it to give me bullet points. I'm like, okay. I'm sure you read them. I'm not saying you never read them, but let's ease up on the people are lazy these days. Nobody wants to work. Okay.
That was pretty funny. He admitted it. He uses AI for everything.
Of course he does. It's great. Be a fool not to use it. And it's fine to use it. It's totally fine. It's a tool. But,
here you go.
Let's admit to ourselves what's going on. You are not so above the youths.
Here you go. It's an activism thing. He's traveled to so many places across the world where people couldn't afford shoes.
Oh.
So he decided himself, I'm not going to wear shoes.
Okay.
And he says that not having to think about what shoes to wear saves him about 20 minutes in the morning.
20 minutes?
Yeah, you spend 20 minutes trying to decide on what shoes you're going to wear. That's a thing.
Whoa.
20 minutes? Really? Maybe he had some addiction, some sickness where he just had hundreds of pairs of shoes.
20 minutes?
I know. So odd number.
Yeah.
3 minutes, possibly?
I slip. That's a lot. I put my shoes on before I walk out of the door. That's what I do. And I slip them on typically.
How many pairs of shoes do you have?
I probably have, I have way more pairs of shoes than I ever wear. I have one pair of sneakers that I wear. I have another pair for like exercise. And then I have like sandals that I wear all summer. And flip-flops that I wear to the pool. And then I have like high heels and things, but I don't wear those ever, hardly.
I have bad news. Michael
I have some
Franti.
boots for the summer or for the winter.
Michael Franti had betrayed himself. but he says he had an ankle injury and a doctor's orders. He needed to wear shoes.
Oh, no.
This was 2023. I don't know if he's gone barefoot again, but 2023 he started wearing shoes. And apparently before he would wear shoes in the extreme cold. Nuh-uh. Sorry, man. You're not going to wear shoes. Yep. You don't wear them ever.
Ever.
The extreme cold. What about the asphalt in the summer when you're walking around on that and it's hot under your feet? Even the sand on a beach can be really hot and burn your foot.
It's true.
But again, he's got those calluses, so.
Yeah. What did his feet look like? Awful?
Yeah, they were gross.
Scary.
They were disgusting. If you had a foot fetish, you wouldn't anymore after seeing his feet.
Ugh.
And there's already those people who don't like feet. And this would have horrified them. He does hope to go back to being shoeless, though. That's what he says once his ankle heals. And I don't know. I don't really want to dig into this anymore.
Yeah.
I already given too much time to this guy. So anyway.
How many shoes do you have?
I was going to go back to your shoe collection. Your boots, your high heels. And what do you wear? Like one pair of shoes?
Basically.
On a regular basis?
Yeah. But like in the summer, like in the winter, it's a sneaker or it's like a little boot. I basically have like 2 pairs of shoes for each season. I mean, for two times a year.
A zip boot.
A little zip bit, a little cute bit.
I surprisingly have a lot of shoes. I don't wear them all. A lot just sit in the closet.
You need options sometimes.
Well, in the winter I wear boots. In the summer I'll wear like a sneaker. I like wearing boots. I just bought a new pair of boots, but they gave me blisters.
Oh yeah.
Got to break them in.
Boots will do that, right? Like you have to work them in.
Certain boots. Some people say if they don't feel like limousines for the feet immediately, then they're bad boots, which I don't really buy. I was like, I don't know. Some shoes do
limousines for the feet?
Yeah. You've never heard that?
What a strange comparison. Limousines for the feet?
I only wear shoes that are limousines for the feet.
That's so weird.
Walking around in comfort.
Yeah.
But I also, when I get these new shoes, it's stupid. You should wear them in short bursts while you're breaking them in. But instead, I say, no, I'm going to do it all at once and I'm going to suffer. So I wear them for like 3 days straight and walk long distances in them.
But you get blisters?
Yeah, and just the back of my foot. There's some, it's just like the boots, when they're leather, they're so stiff.
Mm-hmm.
And the boots that I bought, it's the same brand that I previously bought years ago. And I love those boots now because they're broken in and they feel good. I also don't polish shoes.
Oh, man, that was a big thing with my dad. I remember he would polish his shoes.
Yeah, my dad.
Polish his shoes.
I guess, did your dad ever wear a suit, though? Did he have a job where he wore a suit?
No.
He would just polish his shoes for the hell of it?
I guess he had shoes that were nice and he polished them. I don't know.
I mean, Santa's boots needed to be polished, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He wore the actual boots, right? He wasn't wearing the things over the shoes. You know what I'm talking about? That flap of plastic.
Rubbers?
I mean, there's the fake Santas where, they're wearing
I don't know this.
They're wearing black sneakers, but at the bottom of the pants, there's like a flap of black plastic. It's a plastic-like material. It's got some cloth to it too, but like it sits on the top of the foot and it's supposed to give the illusion of a boot.
No, this sounds like a dickie.
It's really cheap.
It's weird.
I wouldn't trust Santa if I saw him wearing this. Like, where are your boots, dude?
Oh, he's not a Santa anymore, though.
I know he's not anymore, but when he was, he took it seriously.
No, I think he wore boots.
Yeah, as he should.
Yeah. Well, and this was a agency too. Like and they had for real costumes. They didn't have, like Party City costumes. Where are people going to get all their costumes for Halloween if Party City's gone?
Amazon.
I'm not going to buy anything.
Spirit Halloween.
Oh, Spirit. That's right. Spirit's kind of expensive.
Well, because they got the market cornered now.
Yeah, they do.
They know. Like, where else are you going to get this shit? You can order from Amazon, but you don't have the opportunity to try it on.
Yeah.
To look at it.
But you can always return it really easy.
Can you? It's such a...
Yeah.
I don't return anything. I don't return anything that's been mailed to me, even if they do make it simple. I just will eat the cost. Whatever. Do I really want to go? I know I sound like Eric now, but it's like, do I want to go to put this back in a box and take it to some... Here's the thing. If it's UPS or FedEx, there's a UPS like 2 blocks away and a FedEx 2.5 blocks away. So I'm being really lazy. It's not really taking it to the FedEx. It's the waiting in line once you get there. And those people are so slow.
So my UPS store has a little desk over to the side where you can scan your own little QR code that you get from Amazon to return. And then you can bag it yourself and put the label on and then put it in this bin so that you don't have to wait in line to have them do it.
Maybe that probably exists here then. All right. You've got me curious. I'll look into it. I think they hate it these days. Like the people who work there. I'm glad they have that system.
Yeah. I always felt bad. Like, this is nothing. And what's crazy about my UPS store is that it's dead quiet in there. Like, none of the employees seem like zombies. They're like, nobody seems too happy to be there. They'll talk to you as a customer, but just like asking you regular, like, cashier questions. But there's like no music. I would not be able to handle that.
When you worked in the wallpaper store, was there music?
Yeah, that's where, oh my God, we listened to Fox 97. We listened to the oldies station. And then when I would come in, I'd ask if we could change it. I knew 96 Rock was like too hardcore. So I asked if we put it on Z93. So I put it on Z93. And I remember this one time, these 2 old biddies that used to be the owners until the new owners bought it and then let them like stay working there. And they were both sisters and one of them didn't trust me and did not like me. And, but anyway, so there was one time I'd come in and I'd put it on Z93 with everyone's permission, and it was that, pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. Woo, woo. That whole song they're going, woo, woo. And she was complaining. She's like, what is this song? They said, woo, 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 woo. And I was like, bitch, this is not insane. This is the Rolling Stones. And how old are you? Were you old when they were? No, you probably were a teenager. So what the fuck is wrong with you?
She hated that rock and roll. Represented all the bad things in life.
And then we got a bunch of inventory in, and I was going to like go through it and make sure it was all there and like, I guess take inventory, right? And I was learning how to do it, and I felt like I could do it. And I was talking to the one sister who was like saying I could do it, and I saw her, the sister that was like, what's all this woo woo? I saw her go like shaking her head, be like, no, don't let her do it. I was like, hey, I could do it. And I fucking did it. And I loved working there. So she's probably dead.
What did they pay you?
Oh, I have no idea. Back then,
more than the radio
$5.75 probably. We're making 7 maybe then.
I mean, that would be good.
I bet you it was 5 something.
At Pacific Sunwear, I was making $5.15.
Okay, yeah, it was probably 5 something then.
That was the minimum wage.
Okay. Yeah, I worked there after that was my second job. My first job was Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Pizza. It was helpful. I learned how to spell Caesar.
Yeah, how long did it take?
A good while. I couldn't spell sauce. Like no sauce, SAUSE.
There was one time I was trying to write, I forget what it was. It was at the radio station, like a long time ago radio station, 96 Rock. And and I was trying to write Q, like, cue the next song.
Oh, yeah.
And I just could not remember how to do
Yeah.
it. What? And I wrote K, meaning like the Spanish word.
Oh, right.
Q-U-E.
Uh-huh.
And then like a couple days later, out of nowhere, it just hit me. I was like, oh, C-U-E. Why couldn't I remember that? And it's like, oh,
yeah.
Fuck, I wrote it with a Q. What an idiot.
I was trying to spell awkward once. And I was like, I have no idea. I was like, awkward. A-U-Q-W. Quard. U-A-R-D. And like nothing looked. I knew it was never right. But I had a really hard time with awkward.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Because you just look it up. Or just don't write it correctly to begin with.
Just go for it.
And who's going to question it? Who's going to say that, people still don't know the difference in the yours?
I hate when I see that.
I saw it the other day. Somebody writing, like hiring someone.
Oh.
Like, hey.
Hiring someone? What do you mean?
Yeah, just to help us with one of these things we had to produce. And like they hired someone on, and I saw the email thread, and it was supposed to be UR, and they wrote, yeah, it was like, you're great. Y-O-U-R. Ugh.
Oh, God.
Here's what I would say. Someone's about to hire me and they did that. And it's like, nah, I don't want your money. I don't want your work. Go fuck yourself.
I don't like when people say, he and I's relationship, right? Or like he and I's lunch.
Because it's
Stephanie and I's best friend or something.
Because it's wrong.
It's wrong. It's
a very simple thing. You drop the other subject, the other person, and would you say I relationship? No, you wouldn't. You could also just say our relationship, and that's the easier, probably the correct way to do it. But in those instances where people don't know to use I or me, it's like, just what would you say if you were only speaking about yourself?
Right.
That's what
me.
That's what you use.
Yeah.
I relationship.
Yeah.
Her and I relationship. I relationship. Hers and I.
It's like they're trying to be proper because they're putting the someone and I. But that's not how it works. No. But also, you know what? It probably is a stupid old Latin rule that
how dare
doesn't
you?
Really matter.
Yeah, it does matter. It does.
It does. Okay.
Just because some people say, "Oh, you using proper grammar and spelling is a privilege, and it shows your racism." Some people do make that stretch. They go that far. It's like, okay, so everything's fucking racist now. Okay, so I can't escape it. That's what you want. Ultimately, that is what you want, right? Yes. Okay. Let's just admit that you like the fact that you think I'm racist. You're white also, but you're not. You're perfect.
Right. In some way, now I've found out that I'm better than you.
It's such a ridiculous thing.
Like
you can't have any sort of standard is racist. Well, you had the luxury of taking the time to learn that standard while these other people were struggling and they didn't know where their next meal was going to come from. So you go tell them to spell your properly. Okay, I will. I will go tell them. I think it's an important thing. Sure, language is fluid. Certain things change, but there's got to be some rules. Nah, it's a free-for-all. We'll do whatever we want. So anyway, what was I saying before that? There was an overcompensation with the I and then the spelling. I can't remember.
Oh, what you said before was something you didn't like. Oh, the wrong your.
That goes all the way back. I feel like before I was going somewhere with it.
Okay.
And that doesn't matter. I'm just giving up. I mean, I'll continue to write properly. I'll continue to text people in complete sentences and use capitalization, punctuation.
People should be able to do both. You know what I mean? Like if you're just talking to your friend and you want to, write the word you and use the letter U for that. Or if you want to just, talk in hieroglyphics, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. But also know when you need to, write properly. Know both. There's nothing wrong with knowing both.
I just don't think it saves that much time. Maybe on the old phone.
But it can convey like a casualness that you might be trying to like, I don't know, talk about.
And that's what's weird. Writing properly is too formal. You spelled out you instead of using the letter U. Like to me, using the letter U, it's harder. The phone will probably, phone will probably autocorrect it.
Yeah, and then you have to go over to the left and be like, no, this is what I mean.
When you were texting with T9, then
sure, that made more sense.
Yeah, then I would still text and I was an early texting adopter. I loved it. I was like, man, this is a way for me to reach out to people without having to call them. And
remember, it was that there were only so many. You only had so many texts.
Oh yeah, that would limit.
Or they were like free texting after 10, or maybe that was minutes or something. But I think maybe things were unlimited after 9:00.
I was texting before people liked it though. I'm like, what is this? You sent me this message. I was like, yeah, right back. Respond to it. And then whatever Samsung flip phone I had, anytime somebody would text you, like the little light on it would flash. And I remember one time I texted somebody, like I was still going to school, college. And I met someone and I texted her, and then I was, stressing over if she was going to text me back or not. So I hid my phone so I couldn't see the light flashing or not.
Okay.
And then anytime I take the phone out from like under the pillow that I hid it under, I'd cover up the light with my hand and slowly move my thumb and reveal to see if the light was flashing. And when it wasn't flashing, I'd be disappointed because I didn't get a text back. Those were stressful times.
Yeah, it sounds like not a fun time.
You don't know what it was like. This is when the man still had to pursue. Not that I was like a pursuer in the sense that if somebody told me no, they weren't interested, I kept at it. But
yeah, she's playing hard to get. I like that. No, dude, she's saying no.
If there was anyone who ever played hard to get with me, sorry, I didn't play your game, and nothing came of it.
That's so weird. To try and to play hard to get.
It just never made logical sense to me. Who did that?
No, people did that.
Did they?
Yes, because they find out that men do like to pursue you when you don't give them everything. They'll come toward you, and yeah, it's like the more you act aloof, the more interested they are in you, because like you just talked about, like you're waiting for the text. So it's like keeping you waiting makes you more interested.
No. I
agree. I don't agree with that. Right. But I think that's dumb. But I think that's what people, and even when I was on the apps, I would find that if I was sort of enthusiastic about chatting, they wouldn't really chat with me back. If I was like, yeah, like, hey, we should, da-da-da, and then nothing.
Like, some of that's subconscious, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
If I didn't get that text back, if that light never blinked, okay, that's the end. I'm not going to text again. I mean, there was a few instances in my life when, you go on a date or two with a person and they showed interest and then they ghost you. Like I'd follow up. I'm like, hello? What's going on? Like we went on some dates and it seemed to go well and you expressed interest in hanging out again and then you disappeared on me.
Sure.
And then when I didn't get a text back after that, then that was the end of it.
Yeah. Is that ghosting, I guess?
Yeah, I was ghosted. Like one prominent instance. It's like in my mind, I thought she probably just had broken up with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Was going on some dates, did genuinely enjoy hanging out with me, but then they got back together and lo and behold, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I just wish you could, like the person took the time to write that. It's like, hey, I enjoyed hanging out, but I was trying to distract myself. I'd gone through a breakup and we're going to give it another go. I was like, okay. Am I going to stop that? Am I going to convince you otherwise? No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just weirder when they disappear.
Especially
when they express, because like there's the such thing as ghosting when the person's not interested and they just don't want to let the other person down. I still think I don't know. I teeter. I know dudes can become like real assholes and then call the person a bitch and ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, things can get real weird when you're dealing with guys. So sometimes it just feels like you're not invested enough in this person to like go through that. But I guess now you can just say what you want to say and then, blocked.
I'll even give a pass for that kind of ghosting. Where if you went on a date, you weren't really into the person, you don't feel like telling them. But when you go out a few times and then you're the person who says, what are you doing next weekend? And then you just don't write back. It's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. I just think it's a little strange. That's the one time I followed up when I had a text that went unanswered. For the most part, I probably played it a little too safe, but I don't like to impose on people. Like it's a rule I hold for myself. So I'm like, all right, well, you gave me some clear messaging. So if you're playing hard to get, sorry. You're not going to get anything out of this because I'm not chasing you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to do those games. I don't know how to do that. Games.
See, as a guy...
he's playing so many games and they like it. People seem to like it.
As a guy, when I was online dating, if anyone wrote me, I was excited they engaged. If somebody wrote enthusiastically and, had a real conversation, thoughtful conversation, like, hey, this is cool. Because it was already so difficult to get people to respond. And this was early on. I mean, this was around the time, really early on. And like, to me, Tinder wasn't really a thing I used until later. I was always into OkCupid because you could have a real profile and you could answer prompts and display your actual personality. And as far as I was concerned, I was just being myself. I was like, all right, this is what you get. And it was still a bit embarrassing to do online dating. So the people who were involved,
especially like talking about it to other people too, like, oh, you're desperate, kind of, you're online dating.
Yeah. And then
it took a while for that stigma to go away.
If you started actually dating someone, you'd have the conversation. Well, what would you tell people how we met? Come up with some fake story.
Yeah. We're not going to tell the truth.
We can't let people know.
It's pathetic.
So those days were nice though, because the people online, I was never embarrassed to do it. I guess, maybe there were some people in my life that I wouldn't tell because I wouldn't want to deal with their judgment. But in general, the people on online dating, it was a nice community. And then dudes started coming in and they hijacked it and they fucking ruined it. And I'm not saying that, all the women that came in too, who loved the attention and were collecting dudes and
above 6'4".
Yeah, it just got fucking awful overall, and that became the standard now of how people are supposed to meet.
I met Joe on Hinge.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing weird about it.
No, there's nothing. It was cool too because he had just opened up his like range that he would go. Like it goes in like a certain amount of miles from where you live or your zip code. And then he just opened it like to make it wider.
And there you were on the fringes.
There I was being awesome.
46 miles away instead of 45 or under.
Right. 45 plus. Yeah.
In New York, it was, you'd always keep the radius pretty low. I guess.
Well, especially, right? Like that's a big thing in New York, right? Is geographically desirable? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it set it to like 10 miles, maybe 15. I mean, Manhattan's 13 miles long from north to south. So you needed to put some distance in there. But within that range, if a person lived in Jersey, it was like, nah. And if you lived in a certain part of Brooklyn and they lived in Queens, just because it wasn't easy to get there, it's like, You could honestly be like 6 miles away, but it's like, there's no good mass transit option.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, New York's weird like that.
Like I don't know.
If you can't, if it's a weird way to get there, then people don't do it.
Well, the problem is there's only one train that doesn't go into Manhattan. Everything runs through Manhattan. It's a very Manhattan-centric city.
Oh, okay.
So, the outer boroughs, the train lines go out there, and then they all come into the city. There's only one line, the G train, that goes from Brooklyn to Queens without going into Manhattan. And even that's like close to the river. So if you're in certain parts of Brooklyn and the person you meet lives in Queens, you may really get along, but it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
You're like, we have to move in together right away. Even if we don't make it, there's no way we'll be able to see each other.
Yeah, it's either and I have to take a bus to see. I think the bus is the best way, or I have to sit on a train and go through Manhattan and transfer.
Ugh,
if you don't have to transfer,
thanks.
If you don't have to transfer, it's a little easier. It's a long ride, but you can maybe deal with it.
Yeah, especially if you like them a lot.
So the other option, you're right. It's like, maybe we should just move in together and we can also get a bigger
we'll
apartment.
Save some money. And if we don't get along, we'll just be roommates because it's not like we'll have dated forever. So.
Yeah, it was a different type of dating, I guess.
Yeah, New York's different.
But Jersey, it's like, no. No.
Jersey.
There was someone I met once who lived in Hoboken. It's like, nah.
Hoboken?
It's like, what the fuck? Gonna take the PATH train. Why would you choose to live in Jersey? Oh, you can get better rent. Who cares?
It's the first step of leaving, right?
Well, some people actually do set up shop in Jersey. But yes, anyone who I've known to live in New York, like in the city, in the boroughs, when they move to Jersey, it's like, that's your first step out. It's like you're testing the waters.
Yeah.
Like a cat where the front door's been open. You're like, I'm not so sure about outside.
I think it wouldn't be so bad. Like, I think because New York is such a hard sort of place to live in a lot of ways. If you get used to it, I guess, but it's hard. And so going out to like the suburb sort of New Jersey feels like, oh, things are a little bit easier.
Well, you could go right to Jersey City or Hoboken, which if it weren't a different state, it's really no different than going to Brooklyn or Queens from Manhattan. You're just crossing a different river. The subway doesn't go over there, which is also weird. If it weren't Jersey.
You have to take that. What do you do?
There's the PATH train, which is like a different subway.
Train. What about the ferry? Where does that do?
There are ferries.
Okay.
You can take a ferry. I don't know who actually takes the ferry for work.
That would suck.
I mean, if you were right near a ferry station and got you where you needed to go, like on the other side, it'd be cool, I guess. Like, just take a boat to work. But like the Staten Island ferry, a lot of people had to take that to work. And that's a long ride. But it was also free. Like there's smaller ferries. The Staten Island ferry is pretty big. But yeah, you go over to Jersey. It's like, that's the funny thing. It's like it's because it's a different state. They didn't build subways over there. And again, they built a PATH train, which is like a subway. It's just operated by different people, the Port Authority of New York instead of the MTA. But you bring up the suburbs. Sure, you can move to the suburbs. That's pretty valid. It's like, no, I don't. That's suburbs. But this is still pretty urban. And,
yeah,
if you didn't tell me any better, Hoboken could look like a neighborhood in Brooklyn. People are weird,
living in the suburbs, especially when you have kids, kind of rules. I think it's like, I want to live in the suburbs now when I have these kids so I can like run to Target. I'm near the grocery store, all that. I need to go to Michael's to get a poster board to like make some stupid thing that they forgot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know what? There's a Michael's.
Accessible.
There's a Michael's 2.5 blocks away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
don't know.
There's a Trader Joe's 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
There's the Target. The Target's more of a walk.
2 blocks.
10 minutes to the Target.
Yeah.
A Lidl just opened.
Lidl?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Lidl's
awesome.
Not
They
Lidl.
have really good like baked things.
Yeah. Apparently. I mean,
get the maple walnut little thing. Oh, it's good.
When I was in Helsinki, I would go to what was it? Lidl?
Yeah, Lidl.
Because you could just check out yourself and I could grab croissants and not have to talk to anyone. As I established on the last show, I didn't want to talk to people because I couldn't speak Finnish. But that was my only experience with one. My mom loves it and always talks it up. And they just opened one.
Cool.
It's probably packed. Like if it's anything like the fucking Trader Joe's.
Now is the time to go to Trader Joe's then, right? Because then no one will be there because everyone's at the Lidl.
Sometimes
wait till that dies down and then go over to the Lidl.
I was never fully impressed with Trader Joe's anyway. It's fine.
People love Trader Joe's. There's one in Annapolis. I don't really go to it, but I might check it out. There's so many like little. I don't know Debbie. Nope, I don't know Debbie. I don't know Trader Joe's. I don't know Trader Joe's like that. You know, people just like are really good at it. It's like Wegmans. Have you been to a Wegmans?
Nah, there's one that opened up close, but I haven't gone.
Wegmans layout is very strange, and I can't get a handle on it. And I don't like being in there. And then I always seem to go during like on a weekend, and it's so busy, and I get so overstimulated. I hate it. I'm like, everybody get out of my way. I want to get out of here.
That's the Trader Joe's. Like the checkout line wraps around the store and down the aisles sometimes.
And their aisles are also like not friendly, walkable with like a cart.
No.
And then people are, and like there's no like order. Everyone just kind of like milling around and making quick turns and going diagonal.
I will give them credit. They can turn over customers quickly. Like when you're checking out, there are like 30 registers.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. There are a lot.
But still, I mean, that line, if I'm going to shop and I see that line, I'm like, nope. Or if I need one or two items, I go grab them and I just walk out with them. It's like, I'm not going to wait in this line for my ice cream cookie sandwiches. This place is so fucking crowded right now. Nobody's going to know. And I'll just grab them and walk out.
You could do that thing where they like, where you do, where you're trying to leave. And so you just like throw money on the counter and you just walk out.
That's what I do at the bodega.
Yeah, that makes sense though. Cause you get to know each other.
Yeah, I know what the things cost and there's never any tax.
Yeah.
So if there's a long line, I am the asshole. I mean, I'm not slowing anyone down or really cutting.
I don't think that's an asshole, is it?
I just take, like, I know something costs $7.25. It's like, I'll take the $7.25. Like, hey, I got this. Putting the money here. Bye.
Yeah. I don't think that's being an asshole. Do you think?
No, not necessarily. I don't love the people in line. Like, hey, who do you think you are? I don't think you can do that at the Trader Joe's. They're going to scan the shit.
Yeah. Oh, for like inventory too.
It is a cool move. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool move. Here you go.
Feels like a very New York thing. I guess there are stores elsewhere where it could happen, but like living in Atlanta, I'm trying to think, was there any place where I could have done that? I don't think so. Every place actually rang up their stuff. Like at a bodega, they'll type in what it costs, but there's no scanning a barcode.
I was thinking you could do it at any place that you're not actually purchasing a product, you could do that. But if you're doing it, because you could do it at a bar, like I got one beer, here's $5, bye.
Yeah.
Then you're super cool.
I mean, at the bar, what's cool is when, let's say the beers cost $16, you got two of them, and you give them a 20, and you're just like, keep it, and you walk away.
Keep it.
Enjoy your $4
That's for you.
tip.
Do that. That's for you.
I mean, $8.
Oh, do you want to know a thing that happened at the bar recently?
Which bar?
There was a bar that I went to with Joe, and it was like 11:30, and we walked in, and I saw a friend there that I knew, so I said hi to her, and we were chit-chatting a little bit, and then the bartender came up and said, hey, we're doing last call. And so we ordered 4 Cosmos because we wanted to sit and like drink them. Well, I know we weren't going to like, nurse them. We're going to drink them and then go home probably. And then she was like, are you fucking serious? We're like, yeah.
Who said that? The bartender or the
bartender?
Oh.
And then she was like huffing and puffing about it and was talking about like, well, you're ordering these fancy ass drinks at last call. And we're like, what? Okay. And so then she's like, no, I'll do it, whatever. So she's like, okay, she's making them. And then she's not using the vodka that we asked for. And so we point that out. And she's like, she does like a shaking her hands thing. Like, almost like you put your hands up, don't shoot kind of thing. And then, but she like shook them back and forth. She's like, you're right. I didn't. And she's like, if you guys were, it's just like, we're just trying to close and like you guys are ordering these.
They're not even difficult
cocktails
to make, are they? They're not.
No, they're 3 ingredients. They're barely 3 ingredients. They're vodka, triple sec, and a splash of cranberry juice.
Yeah.
And we ordered all the same ones so she could make them all at once. Like even cheat us on some, right? Like don't even fill it up as much, even whatever. And she was such an asshole. And then she was like, Joe was like, what is the problem? And she's like, well, I mean, we're a beer bar, which they aren't. They have a billion liquors behind them, all up on the thing. You want to, you get beers, you get like a, Crown and Coke, blah, 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 blah. And then she started kicking us out. She's like, you guys can leave. And then Joe was laughing like, oh my God. And she was like, ha, 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 ha. And then she's like, you guys get nothing. Get out of here. And we're like, you gave us nothing. So you're not taking anything from us. And then we sat and talked with her, like our friend, just for another second or two. But she came over. She's like, you guys get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. You're not getting anything. We're like, okay.
So you actually didn't get drinks?
No, we went to Malloy's instead.
Jesus.
We went to a place, which was crazy because then, anyway, it was just so weird. Like we were saying, all she had to do was level with us, right? And be like, I'm cleaning up and I've kind of shut some things down. Can I just give you like a vodka cran or something instead? Like, yeah, sure. That's fine. If she just wanted to be like, yo, I'm just trying to get out of here. Like, oh yeah, I'll give us 2 of those instead of the 4. She could have just been like cool with us.
How old
she didn't
was
have
she?
to be such a dick. I don't know. She wasn't old. She was like 30s maybe.
So you 2 were just really old to her. Well, the old middle-aged people came in, wanted their fucking Cosmos. No,
we don't look old.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It is. Like you said, if it's something you can't do, or even if you don't want to because you're cleaning up, it's like, hey, look, can I just get you something else? Like, I wonder if it's because you ordered 4, if you ordered 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's surprise. That's like, I felt guilty. Like, we weren't totally innocent because, I mean, I think we were, obviously, but it sounds less innocent when we say we ordered 4 goose martinis or whatever. But it's really not that big of a deal.
No, I think to me, it's not the drink at that point. That's the 4. It's like, I wanted to get out of here. If you're going to really take your time with those 4.
But that's the thing. You could have been like, listen, how about this? Let me make you 2. And then if we're really if we're closing up, then that'll be it. But if we're not, then I'll give you 2 more. Do you mean like she could have just leveled with us?
Yeah,
and be like, or even just said like, "Hey guys, I'm trying to get out of here. Can we make it 2 instead of 4?"
Yeah, communicated.
Like, and even if we were like, "Oh, okay," like maybe if we were put out a little bit, we still would have tipped. We wouldn't have chinsed her on anything.
I mean, most people would be okay with that if somebody just expressed what they were thinking. You're always going to get the asshole who isn't okay with it, but most people, the majority of people, are like, "Okay, yeah, sure."
She was the asshole. She was the asshole.
Yeah. From the start, it sounds like.
Yeah. Are you fucking serious?
Like, I wonder if you'd ordered 4 beers, if she would have reacted similarly. Because
yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it is like it was the number 4 that really put her off. But she didn't say that. She was saying it was like fancy cocktails, like we were asking for 4 old fashions or something.
And like you said, it was all the same. So 2, 4, 3 doesn't really matter.
We would have chugged those down. We're not sipping on those bitches. We're drinking them.
Maybe because you also just walked in. Like if you had been sitting there for a few hours.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I'm No,
I get you. I also wanted to explore like what her thought process was.
And just like analyzing these things.
Uh-huh. Because it was such a reaction that you don't expect. It was like, what was that?
Though maybe it is to be expected these days. People who work in service industry. Oh, you're here? I wanted to sit around and do nothing tonight.
Yeah, man. It was wild. I was like, well.
What's the rule with restaurants? Like restaurants, for example, I will never go in if it's even close to closing time. Even if it's 30 minutes before. I'm like, it's too close. But I know they play fast and loose, this place, with when they're open and when they're closed, because we've walked in at a similar time, even if it was like just a little bit earlier, 11:15, and they've stayed open till like 1:30.
because they have people there, and the person behind the bartender just wanted to leave. She was like, "I'm out of here by midnight. I'm out."
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
So
that's why I'm honing in on the number, but probably a combination of things.
And also, so like I said, we went to Malloy's after, and Marty was there, who's the owner, and he was talking to us, and we were telling him about what happened. He was like, "Oh, yeah," because he had been there too. He saw us come in at the other place, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw you leave. Like, where'd you go?" We're like, "Yeah, she was yelling at us." He's like, "Oh, I saw that." Like, he saw her yelling, but he didn't know why or what it was. And then he was like, "Yeah, she's an alcoholic. She shouldn't be working at a bar." I was like, "Okay, damn."
So he was there, and then he went back to his own bar?
Yeah. He had worked tonight, he said, at Malloy's. And then I guess he went out and he went to there, and I guess they closed, and he's like still wanting to hang out. So he went to his own bar. He bought us a shot, which was nice.
Did he really buy it if it's his bar?
Oh, no. He just asked for it.
He gave it.
He gave us it was a shot of vodka, which was really gross. But I did it anyway because it was a gift.
It was when we were in Greece and we had dinner. Before we, paid, he brought us some kind of shot. I have no clue what it is or what it was.
Oh, it's the aperitif. Oh, yeah, a digestif.
He put it on the table and he said, "Slow."
Is it ouzo?
I have no clue what it was. It was very strong.
What did it taste like?
It was very strong. I don't know. Alcohol?
Did it taste like licorice?
No, not so much. I know what you're getting at, the licorice taste. It was like a vodka type thing, but I don't think it was vodka. I have no clue. It came in fancier shot glasses. They were like shot glass size, but I think they had little handles.
Oh, cute.
Slow. It's like, okay.
Slow.
Okay.
Slow.
And we'll drink this slowly.
Yeah, it's probably a digestif.
Yeah, what is that? It's just booze. Like schnapps. What's schnapps?
Ooh, schnapps is delicious. Oh my God, go to Germany and get a pear schnapps. I don't even like pear. It's so good.
Well, last time I went and I visited the family that lives there, and I ate dinner with them. And then afterwards, they gave me a schnapps. It was like, good job eating your food.
Yeah.
Here's your little treat. Drink up.
People like Germans drink schnapps at the end of hiking. They'll be like, "Have a schnapps before we go."
Have a schnapps. No air conditioning.
Yeah, damn, they're like hardy.
Yeah, would I have survived there? I would. I'm logical enough. I've been trying to get back into Germany, but Jesus Christ, they don't make it easy. Austria especially doesn't make it easy. Like, meaning getting a passport. Leaning in on the fact that my grandparents lived there, and it coincided with the war, and a lot of these countries have put in if your grandparents or family members were persecuted, but it's so difficult to prove anything. Like my grandmother, who was Jewish, who was born in Berlin, her grandfather did go to a concentration camp, but you got to get all the fucking records, and like I don't speak German, and I can't dig through those myself. So you need to hire a law firm. It's probably going to cost you $10,000. And that's just to do the research. And then maybe they still...
What does that call? It's like a something investigator. Like a... I forget. What is it? Yeah.
I cannot answer that.
Okay.
If you'd like to look it up quickly. You can try to figure it out.
I have to ask, what word am I thinking of? I don't remember.
There's dumb laws, though. Like Austria, for example. If you had a parent or grandparent... So here's how it would work in Austria. My grandmother was born in Austria. She wasn't Jewish. There was some persecution, I hear, because her stepdad, or I think it was her stepdad, everyone was supposed to hang a picture of Hitler in their house, and they refused to do it. And apparently he went to jail for that for a bit. But you can't, how do you prove that? And like, is that full-blown persecution?
Yeah, is this folklore of my family?
I think it's probably real, but yes, people exaggerate too. It's like, who knows what the true story is, and can you ever prove it? Probably not. And then my grandmother didn't leave Austria until 56. So to have some kind of birthright citizenship, the person has to have left before May of 55. It's like, all right, well, she left too late. But And if you can prove the persecution, then maybe you can get in. The other thing is, if your parent was born in Austria and you were born before 83, it has to be your dad. If it's your mom, too bad. You're not allowed in. If it's after 83, it can be either parent. It's like, why wouldn't you just change the law? Like, I know that you set a date to change the law, but that feels like one of the things that you could just like, we're just changing the law overall. If either parent was from this country and they left, because my grandmother never became a U.S. citizen. That's the problem with my dad's parents, is if they didn't become U.S. citizens, then I could probably get a passport. If my dad was born before they became citizens, I could get a passport, but he was born after they became citizens. So I was like, no. So then you'd have to really dig into my grandmother being Jewish, and I'm sure there's a way forward, but is it worth $15,000 fucking dollars? It's not like I'm going to move to the EU. It'd be cool to have dual citizenship, just as a thing, but I have no plans of moving over there. That you could move to any country in the EU you wanted.
No, that'd be cool.
It's a big move.
So what's it worth to you?
Not worth 10 to 15,000 euros, which doesn't guarantee you anything. For this law firm to dig through old records. So I kind of gave up.
It makes sense. It's tough. Sounds really hard.
Yeah,
sounds annoying.
Spent like 3 days digging into things and writing emails. And then I got rejected. And the funny thing is they sent me the rejection email just based on the information they have now. And then they said, if you'd like a detailed reason as to why you're being rejected, you can pay us 300 euros and we'll give you a report. I was like,
cool.
I'm going to pay you to give me a report of why I'm being rejected.
Damn, that's so weird.
Maybe there's...
No, thanks.
Maybe there's a circumstance where you need to have. I can't imagine what it would be, but maybe there's some weird circumstance where that's actually helpful to you. It's like, I guess fucking giving you.
No way.
You should welcome me back, the long lost son, coming back to Germany, where his rational, logical brain will fit right in.
There you go.
Fuck
they don't
you,
even know.
Emotions for fucking twerps in the United States. Let's over-engineer some shit. Let's make things more complicated than they need to be.
Cool. Perfect.
That's like my Volkswagen, where the hood release cable broke. And apparently on any other car, it's easy to get up through the wheel well, and you can still get a hold of the cable if like part of it broke, and you can unlock it. And pop your hood. But the Volkswagen's like, nah, it's so compact, like there's zero, so it's like there's no way to get in.
Oh really?
Well, you can, it's a lot harder. Like you have to take apart a lot of the car, or like that. So think about the actual latch mechanism on the front of a hood. So you pull the thing,
that thing where you like lift it up a little bit and then you press that little
there's that
tab.
Latch that like does it the rest of the way, that keeps it from flying open, but like so it's the same latch, like that's the second stage of the latch, like so you could, this is what I think I have to do. I should probably just take it to a shop, but I bought an air bladder. If you ever locked your keys in your car, you'll see like sometimes they come with an air bladder to create some space. So I bought an air bladder that I can put between the grill and the hood. You can pump that up so you get a little bit of space, and then there are bolts holding in the latch. So I bought these really flat wrenches, and you can get to those bolts and you can turn them probably a quarter to half a turn at a time. And there are 4 of them, I think. So it would just probably take an hour and a half of slowly turning a wrench, but you have to like actually dismantle the whole latch system. All because there's one junction box where you pull the lever in the car, that pulls a cable. It comes to a junction box where it pulls on like this spring, and it pulls a second cable. And the junction box is fucking plastic. That's like a high impact zone, you'd think you'd make it a little more durable than fucking plastic. But no, it's plastic, so it broke. I can't pop my hood. And if the battery dies or something, I'm fucked, so I should probably fix it.
So that's the that's the one you have now?
Yeah, it's
the car?
The car I have now.
Oh,
I have the
dude.
part downstairs. I just gotta... I should just take it to the shop and pay them $250 to pop
That
it open
sucks,
for
though.
me instead of doing it myself. I want to do it myself, even though I bought the tools.
No, that sucks.
I got my plants to take care of.
Your plants need you.
They do need me. Anyway.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. I hope you're having a good week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.